I want to talk about courage, because that's what you need. You need to stand up. For 20 years, lots of people have come to the hemp rally. People all over the nation have spoken. And the bottom line is our legislators are not listening. Bottom line is that it's not a majority you represent. It's also a minority. And I think we far go over the course of numbers, because of all of the people who are speaking here today, they brought up so much facts. And you can sit back and research this till you're blue in the face, and the bottom line is it's the safest substance known to man. And yet, y'all, the laws that we invoke on our people are what really destroy us. We can't go to school, we can't work. I'm a union carpenter, and I've been harassed, used drug testing. I proposed a bill, 1807, in this House, and that'll be coming up in another 2 weeks. I want to, have a drug testing bill, which Massachusetts doesn't have. I'm appalled that the fact is that our state representatives, like police, in majority cases, have come in against the people, even in our discrimination bill, even though we left the door open for the bylaws. In most cases, these bylaws don't even make any sense, in the sense that there's no evidence to support it. I'm so frustrated believing in liberty and in a republic. It's a constitutional republic that we have. I want to see you have courage. I want you to stand up. I don't want you to sit back. When someone comes up here and they say to you, this happened and we don't support this, you know the facts, argue the facts, and change that mind. Because that's what we've been doing. We've been educating people for the last 20 years. And they've come here to educate you. And it's time for you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drury. Any questions from members of the committee? Thank you for your testimony and your passion.
This book is about the underground economy. According to this book, marijuana is America's largest cash crop. A bushel of corn sells for roughly $2. A bushel of marijuana sells for $70,000.
Morning, this is HB 2929. And rather than reiterate a lot of what's been said, there's been excellent testimony this morning. I'd like to throw out a couple of areas that are my personal knowledge here, as I have a little more familiarity with prohibition than some of the people who have spoken before this council. Recently, I spent 4 months in jail and been convicted of a felony for a simple possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. Obviously not in Massachusetts, but this was in Florida. And I can tell you what a detrimental effect that has on families and on lives. Now, Massachusetts has decriminalized possession of marijuana, but we have not decriminalized the sale of marijuana. And this is something that needs to be addressed, and which this bill does an excellent job of doing. It's not perfect, but it's a first step. And it gives people some viable alternatives to purchasing substance on the black market, as it also will provide jobs and a large amount of tax revenue for the state. And to address a couple other questions, I don't want to repeat a lot of what's been said. Currently, there's only one country in the world where you can purchase marijuana legally over the counter, which would be Holland. And even there, it sort of is a quasi-legal status, as they are allowed to sell certain amounts, and the coffee shops are allowed to have a certain amount on premises, but the transfer and sale of large amounts is also illegal. And regularly the coffee shops do violate the law because they have more than what is allowed to be there. However, the United States does sort of dictate most of this world's drug policy, and which is don't see some of this happening in other countries. There's currently a large outcry from countries in South America and other developing nations, India, and the Middle East, for at least open conversations as to better solutions than we currently have. Because what is happening has really been harmful to society as a whole. And personally, I've seen some horrible things associated with prohibition. And these are problems that would be solved if we could step in and create government regulation and control. Take back these industries and eliminate the pain that's being caused here on a number of different levels, both with drug education and with allowing limited access to some of these drugs, as there is no regulation currently with the black market system. These are right now compounds that have benefit to some users and are extremely detrimental to others. And I think that if we realize that what we currently have is ineffective, at least we can go forward and finding some better solutions, which there are. And certainly we have enough evidence at this point in time that prohibition is ineffective. And I encourage everybody here in Massachusetts to take this first step. Massachusetts has typically been on the forefront of revolution dating back 236 years to the Boston Tea Party, which happened not far from here. Passing this bill could be a first step and what is really inevitable in this country and in the world. And if anybody has any questions for me?
Questions from members of the committee? Hearing none, thank you very much for your testimony.